Welcome to DCTV. I'm Joseph Walsh, and this is the news you need to know on campus and beyond for Friday, March the 27th. RCMP say that a 56-year-old man died after his vehicle plunged into icy water off of Highway 14 near Kinley, Manitoba on Saturday evening. The driver, along with one other passenger, lost control of his car and went off the road at a bridge due to icy road conditions, the RCMP said in a press release. Emergency crews responded, including members of the Saskatoon Dive Rescue Team, but were unable to save the man, saying the current in the frigid water made conditions difficult for rescue. The other occupant, a 27-year-old woman, was able to make it out alive and was taken to hospital for treatment. Her condition is unknown. Authorities caution drivers to be aware of inclement highway conditions due to snowfall and ice. For more information on how you can drive safe as the snow starts to melt on roadways, visit www.drivesafeontario.ca. Friends gathered last Tuesday to remember an Oshawa man who died last week after being struck by a train. 49-year-old John Moore died the evening of March 13th after being hit on the CP rail line near Hall Street in Oshawa. Durham police say that no foul play is suspected and that it seems like the cause of death is by misadventure based on facts and witness testimony. A friend of Mr. Moore says that he may have lost his room at the rooming house where he stayed and may have gone to the Hall Street area to camp out. The friend also stated that he had been struggling with addictions, but believed he was doing better. Mr. Moore is survived by his 4 children and 7 grandchildren who did hold a memorial service for him this past Saturday in Stratford, Ontario. The family has asked that any memorial donations be directed towards the John Howard Society of Durham and Region or Pinewood Center for Addictions through Lakeridge Health. Here's Quinn Marr with more.
Toronto's afternoon rush hour got off to a dramatic start Monday when a tractor-trailer tumbled off a ramp and crashed on the busy Highway 401. The tractor-trailer was traveling southbound on Highway 404 just after 3:30 p.m. when it lost control and fell off a ramp and onto the 401. The rig hit 2 other vehicles. No one was seriously hurt, but the truck driver was taken to nearby North York General Hospital.
I was actually on the 401 and a van, a couple of cars in front of me, I noticed that it came to a complete stop, which I was unsure why it did, but then I noticed that it came to a complete stop because on top of the bridge there was stuff falling off the bridge, and then just suddenly the truck fell right all over and everyone just stopped and was in complete shock.
Police shut down all westbound express lanes from the 401 as crews using 4 heavy-duty tows worked to remove the twisted rig from the roadway. Shortly after the crash, crews were able to open the shoulder lane occasionally to ease the backup traffic.
Well, I was actually going eastbound during rush hour traffic, and that's when I looked over and I seen a truck tilted on its side, just big fumes of smoke, and I was actually in shock because I've never witnessed an accident before in my life, and everyone just looked like it was nothing they've ever seen before. It was crazy.
Police are investigating the cause of the crash. For DCTV, I'm Quinn Marr.
Thanks, Quinn. Sad news out of France. An Airbus A320 carrying 150 people from Barcelona to Dusseldorf crashed into a French Alpine mountainside Tuesday after an unexplained 8-minute descent. There are believed to be no survivors, leaving both Germany and Spain, whose nationalities make up the majority of passengers on board, in mourning. Officials who flew over the gruesome crash site on Tuesday suggested the plane operated by Germanwings disintegrated on impact. German Chancellor Angela Merkel said she would join Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy in France on Wednesday to pay respects to the victims alongside French President Francis Hollande. The crash exacted a heavy toll on a small western German town, Haltern am See, which lost 16 teenagers and 2 teachers. The group was returning from a student exchange at a public school near Barcelona. Opera singers Oleg Bryjak and Maria Radner were also among the victims on board the plane, returning from performance in Barcelona. Here's more.
For the 3rd time in 3 years, Ontario will raise its minimum wage. By the end of 2015, it will be $11.25 an hour, or $10.30 for students under the age of 18. This is the 9th time it has increased since the Liberals took office in 2003. But who does this actually affect? According to the Government of Ontario's 2014 Minimum Wage Advisory Panel, 62% of minimum wage workers are between the ages of 15 and 24.
It definitely affects me in a positive way in the sense that I'm able to pay off my tuition sooner. It helps me get to where I need to be financially at a sooner time, I suppose.
As a student, it's a great thing because we're all broke, so we all want some extra money. Plus, if you're working minimum hours and we're working part-time, it's good to have the extra cash coming in. I would always appreciate it to be more than 25 cents, but 25 cents won't really get you very far, but overall, I think it's a great improvement.
It does add up, but you don't see it like first paycheck. You're not like, oh wow, this is a lot more than it was. Like, it's not, it'll add up, but it's not a huge jump to begin with, so.
The raise in minimum wage is generally seen as a good thing. However, it's still not enough for some, especially struggling college students. Reporting from Durham College outside Tim Hortons, for DCTV, I'm Joseph Walsh. Prime Minister Stephen Harper made his case for Canada to renew its efforts in the coalition fighting the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, but left some questions unanswered as the opposition leaders challenged him to provide more details. The Prime Minister is proposing to extend Canada's initial 6-month military mission in Iraq and is also seeking support for an additional 1-year air mission against ISIS. Both NDP leader Tom Mulcair and Liberal leader Justin Trudeau raised concerns that the government wasn't honest about the role special force operators were playing in Iraq. They also raised concerns about whether there is an exit strategy. Defense Minister Jason Kenney stepped up the end goal for the mission, upgrading from containing and degrading ISIS to defeating the insurgents altogether. Harper also stated that Canadian Special Forces will not be in Syria. 2 Winnipeg police officers will not face charges related to the death of missing 15-year-old Tina Fontaine. The Winnipeg Police Service launched an internal investigation last fall after discovering that the 2 officers came across Fontaine during a traffic stop a week before she had been reported missing, but did not take her into custody. The officers apprehended the driver of the vehicle Fontaine was in, but let the missing teen go. Fontaine's body was later found wrapped in a bag in the Red River on August 17th. Her death is being investigated as a homicide, but no arrests have been announced to date. The Manitoba Crown Prosecutor's Office reviewed the results of the internal investigation and told the police force in December that it would not proceed with charges under the Criminal Code or the Child and Family Services Act, police said in a news release issued late Tuesday afternoon. The police service says that it has launched disciplinary proceedings against the officers and suspended one of them without pay. The other officer remains on administrative leave. And that is your news for this week. Now over to Emily Judry with all of your latest sports news. Emily, how are the Jets doing?
The Jets are doing well, thank you, Joe. Jets get a boost to defeat the Canadians. Justin Bufflin returned to the Jets lineup after missing 9 games due to his injury and did not waste any time making his presence felt in the 5-2 victory over the Canadians. Winnipeg built up the 3-way goal lead after 40 minutes and was never in danger the rest of the way. Winnipeg remains in the second wildcard spot in the Western Conference. Montreal's loss, coupled for the Rangers' win, dropped the Canadians a point below New York and the top seed in the Eastern Conference. Kentucky dominates West Virginia. West Virginia freshman Dexter Miles Jr. will urgently think twice the next time he makes a bold prediction. Kentucky made sure that as the unbeaten Wildcats embarrassed Miles and the Mountaineers 78-39 in a Sweet 16 mismatch on Thursday night. Canadian Trey Lyles scored 14 points, standing in the way of Kentucky's 4th final appearance in 5 years is Notre Dame, which rolled past Wichita State earlier in the game at Quickie Loans Arena. The Midwest Regional Final will take place on Saturday. No patience for Bernier and the Leafs loss. Most people would have been surprised to hear that the Leafs dropped their 7th game in a row, this time to a 4-1 decision to the Panthers. To note that Jonathan Bernier was given the hook for the 8th time, after allowing a trio of goals in the middle frame, including 2 in the span of 30 seconds. The Leafs have not had a lead in 23 periods of hockey. Kadrick had something to smile about, scored the only Leaf goal in the game. Here's more with Ryan Panici.
Toronto Maple Leafs can expect a new addition to the lineup tonight when Casey Bailey arrives. Bailey, who signed an entry-level contract with the Leafs on Saturday, joins the team from Penn State University, where he scored 40 points in 37 games. He is the first Nittany Lion to sign an NHL contract since the program's creation in 2012.
It's great. I watched some of his games in Penn State, and he has a wicked shot and a great hockey sense. It's going to be nice to have another Alaskan on the team alongside Brandon Dubinsky, and hopefully he does well in the season.
A native of Anchorage, Alaska, Bailey has been crucial to the growth of the Penn State hockey program. He was the first player to score a goal in the program's history and was the school's first player to receive a postseason player conference honor, earning an All-Big Ten first team nod. He was also a nominee for the Hobey Baker Award. Well, it's you know, been a pretty bad year for the Leafs so far, so hopefully it's a bright spot. You know, he was a pretty good goal scorer down in the college level, so hopefully he can do that in the pros, and you know, have a, I mean, it's a 2-year contract. It was a pretty good signing, I think. Bailey will now leave one of the youngest NCAA programs for one of the NHL's oldest. He's expected to arrive in Toronto this week and could make his debut with the team as early as Thursday against the Florida Panthers. For DCTV, I'm Ryan Pacini.
Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Pike get bronze in ice dance. Canadian ice dancers Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Pike were unable to complete the perfect season as they settled for bronze at the World Figure Skating Championships Friday in Shanghai. Americans Madison Clock and Avon Bates took silver. Winning gold was Gabriela Papadox and Gilles Gomor of France, vaulting from fourth to win a gold in a passion-filled performance. Extra point kicks the 32-yard line being considered in the CFL. This Canadian Football League Rules Committee is proposing a handful of rules changes in 2015, including requiring extra points to be kicked from the 32-yard line, conversions after touchdowns will be less automatic, and receivers would given more space at the game will be sped up. Changes are approved, and if the changes are approved, will start this spring. I'm Emily Jojo for sports. Here's Sarah Hadley with entertainment.
Thanks, Emily. No problem. Well-known serial dater Taylor Swift is making headlines again with DJ Calvin Harris. The couple were spotted holding hands in Nashville earlier this week and were later seen getting cozy at the Kenny Chesney concert. None have confirmed their dating, but there's major PDA is sparking rumors. It is an end of an era. Zayn has announced his departure from One Direction following cheating allegations made earlier this year. He has broken his silence about a rift between him and his former band members, stating, "My band has really been supportive. They have been really cool about it." Zayn will be going on to a solo career, and One Direction will continue as a four-piece. Durham College celebrated their 7th annual Pangea Cultural Show on March 22nd. The event started with a Taste of the World segments, which featured food from 7 different cultures. The students then took to the stage to showcase their cultural talents. Everything from Aboriginal drumming to the salsa was featured. Pangea has been a campus tradition since 2005. Kate Middleton has made her last public appearance this morning before heading to maternity leave. The Duke and Duchess attended the tour of the Stephen Lawrence Charitable Trust headquarters in Deptford, London. Kate was pretty in pink, wearing a long coat by British fashion house Mulberry. The Duchess is expecting baby number 2 in late April. Ed Sheeran revealed that him and his girlfriend, Athena, have split after more than a year of dating. A source revealed the final straw was at the Brit After Awards parties when Ed was drinking too much. Ironically, Sheeran has been spotted recently crashing a couple's wedding and sang a few love songs for the newlyweds. He is currently in high spirits. That's your latest for entertainment today. Back to Joseph Walsh with the news.
Thanks, Sarah. Poor Ed, eh? He must have a long line of suitors waited for him, though. So that's your news on campus and beyond for Friday, March the 27th. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at DC Broadcasting or check out our website at dcbroadcasting.ca. Thanks for watching. I'm Joseph Walsh. We'll see you next time.